All right, next interview. This is with Joel. Joel has had an absolute killer transformation inside of hardcore. The transformation that I'm actually putting up for you guys right now, this was done in 1 month, and that type of transformation definitely comes with some type of work ethic, some type of intensity, and showing up every single day for yourself, and some mindset shift from who you were before to who you wanted to actually be. Now, for Joel, if you want to introduce yourself to everybody, kind of explain who you are, what you do, the life that you're going into, because you're going into the real world now. So Joel, take the platform.
Yeah, thank you, Jack. My name is Joel, and I'm currently 23 years old, and I just graduated college last month. So I was in hardcore at a time towards the end of my senior year, and it was during a time where I knew that change was coming and that I wouldn't have so much structure being a college athlete anymore. And along that time that I was a college athlete, and even before then, there was a lot of discipline that was expected, but there was not a ton of structure outside of, being able to work out like in our weight room and having those structured weight workouts and then practices. But outside of that, there was a lot to navigate on your own as anyone has to. And during this time, I struggled a lot with consistency just with normal nutrition as far as getting enough food in, and then especially on what I was eating. And then also just the discipline and consistency of putting in work outside of practice when you have a full schedule and you're having to balance, you know, working. For me, it was school on top of working, on top of being an athlete. And so I just felt very lost in that way that I couldn't be consistent to actually stick to something that lasted a long time. And that is where I went to Jack, and it was at a time, like I said, where I was feeling very lost in this way. And entering into hardcore is very scary because it is an investment into yourself and it is daily accountability. And if you are someone like me who is very high achieving and also very hard on yourself at the same time, it can when you invest yourself into something that is long term and you invest into something that can from day to day make you struggle, is it's scary. That's plain and simple. It can be scary. But when you commit to something like that, it forces you to either lock into the system or to back down and run away from it pretty much immediately. And so going into it that first week in hardcore, it was like, okay, like I have this decision to make to go all into it. So
Mhm.
let's just do it. And so, it was tough getting a new structure and then like, avoiding temptation as far as like if I want, like I'm a huge food guy, so like wings, pizza, soda, like all that, dude, like absolutely, like sounds great. But at the end of the day, like when you're not fueling yourself properly, for me to like be an athlete, you're not doing yourself any favors. You're cutting corners, you're not setting yourself up long term, which is what
Mhm.
exactly a meal plan and a system does that hardcore provides. Um, and it's you find out eventually when you start like taking care of what you're putting into your body that you feel better, and you actually like your body wants that stuff a lot more. Like, you start to crave the good things and the proper nutrition. And
Absolutely.
then just going more into what the whole hardcore experience has been. I mean, I love working out, but having to go into a gym and figure it out all on your own, it's very like unless you have a good understanding of what you're trying to do, whether it be build muscle or to shred fat or build your endurance or whatever it is, like it can be very hard when you don't have someone who knows what they're talking about and can provide that um, adequate periodization for what you're looking for, because obviously in hardcore you don't just stick to one
Hmm.
workout plan the whole time. It changes.
Oh, just cut off for a second here. You're all good.
Yeah, yeah, sorry. So that is a huge part of it. Uh, and then just the accountability in general. I mean, you have this group of like-minded individuals who, in one way or another, are struggling with something, even when you don't realize it. And like, because people can, come off as like they got it all together, or if you look down on yourself, you can look up to someone and see, like, think that they have it all figured out, but in reality, like, it's so beneficial to have people around you who are trying to better themselves for one common goal and trying to figure it out together with this mentorship as well. It just helps us grow exponentially. And I feel like that's why you see such fast results within hardcore, because you're not doing it alone.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I appreciate that answer. That was awesome.
Yeah.
It really
Yeah,
is.
I went.
And you could see exactly like what he means by it and the emotions he felt throughout the process. So that's huge, man. And I'm so happy that you did join because I know at first it definitely was scary to you, especially the
Absolutely.
position you're in. But there was one thing that you told me, at the end of it, what did you not do? You did not regret a
Didn't.
single thing.
No, absolutely, man. Didn't regret it at all. Um, yeah, yeah, man. I mean, this has taught me so much, because it's when something is like, you're gonna be scared of big, taking risks or taking chances or whatever you want to call it, or putting yourself in a different situation. But at the end of the day, like, you're gonna figure so much more out about what you can do and who you are when you put yourself into a situation you didn't think you would be in beforehand. When you force yourself to go through something that is hard, because it is. It's not supposed to be easy, because you get results that are worth it. Nothing in this life is gonna just be handed, or the easy way is usually not the way you want to be.
Hmm. So take me back before you joined hardcore. Tell me a little bit more about your story and them about your story and
Yeah.
where you were at mentally and physically and maybe some of the obstacles that you've experienced that a lot of people at your age maybe haven't.
Yeah, yeah, no, absolutely. So I guess it all kind of starts right after my freshman year of college. Well, actually, we'll go before. Going into college was a time where I felt like I had structure, but it wasn't exactly, now that I know what true structure is and feels like, it wasn't exactly what I thought it was.
Mhm.
Um, I was, in the gym eating and stuff. I was planning on going into college and being my first year as a college athlete, so I wanted to put on muscle and size, which worked evidently, because I hadn't been in a gym really before that at all. It was my first time like actually going into weight training. Um, and so that was great, but all through like my freshman year of college was a lot of hard work was put in, a lot of reps, and just trying to prove myself, my first year in college. And then after that year is when my dad passed away. And that is really when, like, the wheels fell off for a while.
Mhm.
Um, moved to where I am now about a week after my dad's funeral. And so having to process all these emotions and life changes and also grief, the loss of my dad at the same time, really sent me down a spiral that took me a long time to come out. And I mean, still to this day, there are things that I work on, every day and still have to because of, still grieving, the loss of my dad and also just digging myself back out of that hole I put myself in. It was a time where I really didn't have much self-worth at all. It was, I wasn't taking care of my school, I wasn't taking care of myself, my relationships. Um, it was a very selfish time, and I made a lot of bad decisions as far as just all of that goes. My health was pretty much like in the tank, as far as like nutrition and working out. Um, I was still a collegiate athlete, but I didn't have really much motivation or worth, or it was just like I was going through the motions every day. And so was able to get myself out of that, but still like I felt like I was putting a lot of this pressure on myself to accomplish things. And that's where my mindset kind of switched. And it was like I need more. I need, I can't be going through every day just kind of guessing what's going to happen.
Hmm.
I need structure. I need this. You can't live like this. Something's got to change eventually.
Yeah.
And so being young still, I know like, people can say you have time, but in all reality, like this is the time to take advantage of opportunities. And so at some point along the line, I reached out to you.
Yeah. What was that
Once,
moment like? Like what? That's what I want to kind of get to. What my next
yeah,
question was going to be. What was that moment that stuck out? Where you're like, okay, hardcore is going to be the one that I reach out to.
yeah, no, absolutely. So I found myself just like every day trying to like I would like make like workout plans or whatever using like stuff online and stuff, and then I would go in and like try it out and realize like, man, I really don't like this. So like next day like try something new. And it's like every day I feel like I was asking the same questions and trying to find out like new information, like what's the most like optimal way like I can like grow myself, or like just get into a routine of being strong and fit and stuff. And I was doing like all of this thinking and research, you could call it, without actually like doing anything and having any consistency. So I was like, dude, like, what am I doing? And so was following Jack for probably a month at this time. And, just every day seeing these posts and these transformations. And I've never been someone that reached out to someone online for especially like fitness coaching. But I saw like had to ask myself like really like, I'm an athlete, I enjoy having a coach, I enjoy that accountability and someone to keep you in line. So let's go for it. And so that's what really like my mindset was, that like switched, and I ended up reaching out to you,
Hmm.
was just realizing like you can grow like when you have a coach who actually knows what they're doing, because they wouldn't be doing it if they didn't know what they're doing. And you, for like, you have the examples and stuff, or the receipts of why it works. That's why would you try to do it on your own? Why would you try to figure out yourself when you don't know, one, exactly what you're trying to do? It seems that's where the situation I was in, and then how to do it, especially.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Because a lot of people will find themselves stuck in a situation where, you want something, but you don't realize that you actually need it, because you
Exactly.
want something, but you keep on repeating the same exact thoughts, habits, actions every single year, and that's what's keeping you in the same exact spot. You got to
Yep.
realize something needs to change, And that reaching out, that moment right there was your first step to it. And now the position you're in, the way that you feel, is just the outcome of that first step. You know, you took that first baby step, and a lot of people just need that first step, you know, and that's huge from you. So, inside of hardcore, like, what was the process kind of like to you? How did you feel? And, you know, what was the most important aspect of it, you know, that's really helped you make that transformation so fast?
Yeah, so it was primarily, I mean, other than the constant, daily motivation and just seeing these guys every day. Like I wake up, check my phone, there's always someone in hardcore talking about like, let's get after it today, you know, just some sort of little thing, not these long like motivational things all the time, but just the little reminders, and then the push-ups were one of the biggest thing. I mean, the
Yeah.
small thing, but one of the biggest things, if you can rock out 25, 50, 100 push-ups just like right there throughout a day, that's raw.
Yeah.
You're building yourself, it's brick by brick. If you want results, especially in like in your fitness and just discipline, I mean, rocking out 100 push-ups a day is definitely some hard stuff. And so, just that, and then also knowing, I mean, seeing results fast, um, seeing my body fat kind of just wash away, and then also feeling stronger at the same time and feeling lighter and like I was more mobile and it just felt easier and better to do things and be active and, push myself. Um, it was really just the mindset of, I'm doing something hard and I know it's going to pay off.
Hmm.
That's where my mind was, it was looking back on where I started and, just how I felt to where I am now. Like I still want more, it's not like the job's done, it just teaches you to constantly pursue your goals. And if your goals are physical fitness along with, they go hand in hand with mental health and just how you feel about yourself, your outlook on life. It starts from within. And if you want to make change around you, it starts from, you and taking care of business there so that everything else around you can kind of work itself out in that way as well.
Absolutely. Dude, having a physique is cool. It's really cool, you know? It's an amazing feeling. But the way that you feel, both mentally and physically, you know, is everything. And how that translates into other aspects of your life is everything. So leading into that, you know, tell me how this has somewhat changed your life now in the
Yeah.
trajectory is going from beforehand to where it is right now.
Yeah. So I will say I spend a lot more time uh thinking about what I'm going to eat and how I'm gonna, just grocery shop. And because that was something I never really did before, I hated grocery shopping. It's just one of those stupid things that I always hated. And now it's honestly like I really enjoy it because seeing a lot of the options and, I'm kind of going away from the point here, but having the structure and knowing like proper nutrition and what your body needs exactly, like hitting your protein goals is a hard thing, um, especially for like athletes and stuff and just very active individuals. But it can be very fun and rewarding when you know that, like I said before, like you're fueling yourself properly with what we're meant to be eating. We're not meant to be going and eating McDonald's and Taco Bell like
Mhm.
all the time, which is what I was doing before, and so it gives me that purpose, knowing that like, I'm not spending money on eating out and like fast food and stuff in like the easy way essentially, but I'm learning like learning how to cook and make recipes and stuff, and just stuff that you can like feed your family one day, you know? It's like that. I think that's really cool. Like
Yep.
it's not all just like meal prep and whatever. Like you can really learn a lot from it. And just I mean, as I said, like just structure in general and consistency and knowing that when it gets tough, like because it's going to get tough, there is a way through it and it's going to pay off and you're going to feel way better about yourself
Hmm.
afterwards, and it's going to motivate people around you as well. You can really start something big from, committing to something such as, what hardcore provides. And so I think that the biggest thing that like essentially it changed my life is the mindset and just what the future I see now versus what I saw before, as far as just longevity and
Hmm.
enjoying the process and enjoying, you know, putting yourself in those uncomfortable situations every day and meeting new people and building a community. I mean, that's what life's about, you
Yeah.
know? And so
Absolutely.
just gave a lot more perspective, a lot more discipline, a lot more um, goals to achieve.
It's breaking those limited beliefs, man. You know? And when it comes to structure, that means fitting fitness in with your life, not
Hmm.
life fitting in with fitness, you know? And that's how it's gonna be sustainable. That's how you're going to be able to do it for the rest of your life. And if you're getting some type of plan from another coach or you're trying to find stuff that is fitness, like all based around fitness, then it's not going to work because it's not fitting in with your life.
Hmm.
And that's huge, man, you know? So, like, throughout the process that you've been through hardcore, what was the most challenging aspect and how did you get through that, let's say?
Yeah. So I would definitely probably just the day-to-day grind and like being consistent and getting the meals in, the,
Hmm.
the timing of it. Because I mean, who doesn't want like a late night snack, or who doesn't want to eat ice cream and just who does, in all reality, like, the temptation is there. And being someone who didn't care about what they put into their body because I felt like, I could work it off or whatever, like it didn't matter, like you have those thoughts. And so just fighting that temptation was definitely one of the hardest. And knowing, I mean, when you fight against that and then know you did, it's very rewarding at the same time.
Huge.
Um, and other than that, probably just the first week getting into it, knowing that I had a busy schedule already
Mhm.
and knowing I had practice and workouts outside of, what hardcore was trying to provide. Yeah, it was kind of overwhelming at first. And so that first week was very challenging. But I mean, the weight dropped off almost immediately. And so it was like, okay, just got to get through this and then, it'll get easier. So that first week was very challenging, but,
Gotcha.
told myself it'd be worth it, and it was.
Yep, absolutely. And you said it was like difficult at first because it's a completely different lifestyle switch. You know, it's like, okay, I'm
Hmm.
actually implementing good habits that are going to give me a good result. But after
Hmm.
you continue to do that, did you kind of see and the way that you felt, the way that you looked, become kind of an addiction to you?
Yeah, oh yeah. I mean, I was getting obsessed. I went from sleeping in until like, 10 or 11 to like setting 5 a.m. alarms to get up and work out before class. And yeah, it was truly like all I thought about for a while. And that turned into, kind of something in its own that I had to work out because, it's all about balance as we talk about. And when you obsess so hard over something, even if it is a good thing, it can take away from what the main goal is, which is, longevity and leading to a healthy long sustainable lifestyle. And so, um, but
Absolutely.
yeah, it's all about that balance.
I love that, man. And it's been great, man. Like the whole entire process for you has been unbelievable. The person you were before to where you are now, and the way I look at you in the eyes is completely different. And that's what this is all about, man. You know, creating an impact in your life because I know that it's going to impact somebody else's. So, it's been an unbelievable process with you. But with the last thing, what would you say to someone that says that they have a busy lifestyle, that's on the fence about joining, that says they might not have the time, or any other excuses essentially that are holding them back from achieving the goals that they have in their own life?
And man, I mean, how bad do you want it? Everyone's got something on their plate, you know, so big, large, small. How bad do you want it? How bad are you going to prioritize your health and investing in yourself that is going to make everything around you better? Yes, it's scary. Yes, it is hard work, but it is 100% worth it in the long run.
I
If
love
you
that.
want something sustainable, you want something long term, you want something that is going to change your life, go for it.
Hmm. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Everything in life might not be your fault. Your work schedule, family, priorities, and stuff like that. But whose responsibility is it going to be to solve?
Absolutely. There's a way.
It's
There is a
ourselves.
way.
Oh, you got it. So with that said, Joel, I really appreciate this interview today. With everybody watching, I hope that you guys enjoyed as well. He absolutely crushed it. You guys are months away from waking up a completely new version of yourself. Joel is an example of just that. And if you guys are interested in joining hardcore and you're finally tired of just staying in the same exact position, I'm going to have a link down below in the description so that you can book in a call with me and we will get jump started from there, man. So looking forward to it. Joel, thank you. And any last things that you might want to say?
Uh, Anyone that is on the fence again, go for it.
Yeah.
Let's go. Let's work it out.
Love that. All right. See you guys later.